What is going on, Cardano community? Welcome back to Dapp Central. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful weekend so far. My name is Fareed, and today we're going to be breaking down some of the latest news and updates surrounding Cardano. First things first, I want to jump into a TVL update, given the fact that we are seeing what appears to be the very beginning of DeFi summer occurring within the ecosystem. As a part of that update, I want to break down some of the most active dApps, as well as their TVL, which has seen an increase over the course of the last 2 months. After that, I've got a brief update surrounding MinSwap and their ADA delegation proposal and the final results of that first proposal. Keep in mind they have 2 proposals, one has just ended, and I believe there's a second one surrounding the Min token distribution, which is still ongoing. Third, I've got an update for you guys surrounding JPG.store, and there's going to be quite a few updates to chat about here. First is going to be surrounding the launch of season 1 of the XP feature coming online, as well as some other updates surrounding the floor sweep, as well as the ability to see floor traits within their properties. Fourth, I've got a brief update surrounding Mehen, which is going to be a stablecoin platform. However, this is not going to be your regular stablecoin, given that this will be actually backed by cold hard fiat reserves. And then very lastly, I've got a brief update surrounding Fluid tokens, which has just released their pooled lending. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, my goal here is to provide you and the community with the latest news, tutorials, and reviews for the top builders in the Cardano ecosystem. I'm also a single stake pool operator operating the official Dapp Central stake pool. And if you'd like to support me on my mission to educate the broader Cardano community, then consider delegating with the pool. Jumping straight into the first topic for today's video, I want to break down some of the most recent activity that we've seen in terms of TVL on the Cardano network. So we're going to kick things off here with VI Finance. So VI Finance is going to be a DEX which launched, I believe, on May 15th. And since the actual launch of the DEX, not only have we seen the addition of farming, we've also seen the launch of the bar, which is going to be their revenue distribution mechanism, come online. And since then, their TVL has increased 4,400%. Now, keep in mind that because it is brand new, that number is going to be a lot bigger than some of the other platforms that we're going to talk about here in just a second. Coming in at number 2, we've got Indigo, which is going to be a protocol that gives members within the Cardano ecosystem exposure to assets not native to Cardano, and their TVL has increased about 26% when it's currently right now around $34 million. Now, comparing that to VI Finance was able to get to about $18 million within the first 2 months of their launch. I believe this puts them right now at about number 3 or number 4 in terms of the biggest TVL platforms on Cardano, which again, we've got a lot of competition. For them to be able to do that so quickly, I think really speaks volumes to their adoption and to the interest that the community is currently showing into that particular protocol. Coming in at number 3 here, or on this particular chart, we've got Liquid Labs, which is going to be a DeFi lending and borrowing platform utilizing peer-to-pool. And what they have here is a 25% increase as well, very similar to Indigo, bringing their TVL right now to around $16 million. Now, keep in mind that these are not the only DeFi applications that we have right now on Cardano. It's just the 3 captured in this particular chart. But one that I really want to touch on is going to be LenFi. I think they really kind of kicked this entire DeFi summer off. And right now they have, let's see here, over 6.93 million ADA currently locked. Over the course of the last month, that has increased by 58%. And then over the course of the last 7 days alone, that's increased about 14%. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Another one that doesn't have a lot of stats here is going to be Levy Finance, which was released by the Ape Society. And right now they've got a TVL of $76,000. I want to say that has actually increased, but that may not actually be reflected here on the DeFi Llama platform. Now, other platforms that we are expecting to launch include Meld. We've also got Fluid tokens, which has just recently added pooled lending, so that should hopefully increase their TVL. And then I think there's a few others as well. Right now, Genius Yield is going to be a DEX, but we also saw the launch of Genius X, which is their launchpad and staking platform. Scrolling back up to the top in terms of number one, we still have MinSwap, which hasn't seen a huge upgrade or a huge update in terms of their 1 month change with only a 6% change. But keep in mind that they're way ahead of the competition with more than $50 million currently locked in TVL. And the closest competitor is Indigo with a little bit over half of that, again, which is about $34 million. And then as I mentioned earlier, we've got ViFi coming in at number 3, where they really shot up through the ranks here very, very quickly. So that, I think, is going to do it there for that very brief update. One thing that I do want to touch on here before we move things right along is the fact that Cardano's TVL overall, if we're taking a sum of all these applications, now has over 565 million ADA locked on the network. As you guys can see right there, it's just been going up and to the right since the beginning of the year. And I'm not sure that there's any signs of this slowing down in the near term. Again, we're expecting the launch of AADA V2. We're expecting the launch of MELD. We've got FLAC Finance coming online. Just so many different DeFi platforms that are now going to be available. And then to even add to that list, we're also waiting on Indigo version V2. So again, a lot of big expectations, a lot of DeFi protocols to look forward to in terms of launching. And again, I think it's just the beginning of what we're going to see potentially last into the winter time here, at least within the United States. So that is going to do it there for that first update. Again, really just wanted to touch on the TVL on Cardano and some of the top dApps that have seen a lot of growth over the last month or two. Now, the next update that I want to jump into is going to be a pretty brief one, but this will be surrounding MinSwap. If you guys have been keeping up here with the Cardano Scoop videos, I did break down 2 proposals that the team was currently working on, and I also broke down exactly what they entail. So the first proposal was surrounding their ADA delegation for their liquidity pools, given the fact that during the meme coin season run, we saw them max out all of their MinSwap stake pool. And so what they're looking to do now, or what they have looked to do, is figure out a plan as to how to better manage their liquidity pool ADA in the event that their stake pool, again, gets oversaturated. Now, this proposal was launched about, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks ago, and the vote is finally in. So they had 3 options. The first was to basically randomly pick the pools that would be eligible to be delegated to in the event that there was an overflow or oversaturation of their current MinSwap pool, which is a private pool with over a 99% margin. Option 2 was to have the community continuously voting for which stake pools those ADA or that ADA should be delegated to. And then option 3 was for profit maximization, in which the MinSwap team would just spin up an additional private pool, which would be the most profitable option. However, in terms of decentralization, it really would not fit the bill. So the community has spoken, and it states here that the ADA delegation vote has passed with overwhelming participation. More than 148 million Min tokens of voting power, which was over 6 times the quorum or the minimum amount needed, was actually used to vote. So a lot of the community really coming forward and having their voices heard. The option chosen was randomized decentralization with a 67% portion of the entire vote. So now this particular strategy will be implemented in the course of the coming weeks. I know that the MinSwap team did put out an application for members who are SPOs to basically apply in the event that option number 1 or number 2 were to have been chosen. And since option number 1 was chosen, it looks like they'll be randomly picking some of those applicants. I'm not sure if the application is still available, but if it is, then you definitely want to make sure to go ahead and sign up if you do operate an SPO. Keep in mind there are rules surrounding who is eligible, and some of those include having a certain margin fee, as well as having a certain pledge and a certain amount of ADA currently delegated to your pool. So not everybody is eligible, but if you are, you can get added to that short list, again, where you'll be randomly chosen, or where you could randomly be chosen to participate as a holder of the MinSwap LP or liquidity pool ADA. So this was just the first particular proposal. I mentioned 2 earlier. I think the second one is still ongoing, and that was surrounding the distribution of the Min token as a part of the entire platform. Again, keep in mind that this particular team is distributing their Min token to anybody who provides liquidity, and it's not going to be in every single liquidity pool, but I believe the majority do provide you with the Min token as a reward or as an emission. So that's going to be the second ongoing proposal, and I'll follow up here as soon as that particular result is in. That is going to do it for the second update here for today's video. If you guys are enjoying these Cardano Scoop videos, I would really appreciate it if you guys could tap that like button. It's one of the easiest ways to support me here on the channel, and it really does make a difference in terms of reaching the broader Cardano community. The next update I want to jump into is going to be surrounding JPG.store and the fact that we can now expect the launch of the JPEG token and the season 1 of their XP. So it states here that you can now earn 2x XP on all trades, whether you're selling or buying NFTs on their marketplace. Again, this is going to take place between July 10th, this is season 1, all the way through August 10th. At the very end of the season, you'll be able to take your XP and actually convert that over to the JPG.store token. Some of the utilities surrounding the token, I would assume, would include the ability to purchase NFTs using JPEG or potentially receiving discounts on particular sales or on particular collections, I should say, on the JPG.store marketplace. So that is the biggest, I think, update here coming in from JPG.store. There is an additional update here that I also want to touch on, which is going to be their floor sweeping feature. If you missed this particular news update, I did mention it before, but it is now live. So on JPEG, normally when you're using the platform, you can only purchase a single NFT at a time. However, that is now going to be a thing of the past. With their brand new sweeping feature, you can now purchase multiple NFTs in a single transaction, allowing you to quote unquote sweep the floor or purchase again multiple NFTs in a single swoop. Now, who might actually want to do this? For example, if you don't want to spend the time of building all these different transactions, which you do have to pay a minor transaction fee for, then this is a good option for you to take a look at. If you're maybe in a hurry, or maybe you just want to just take the entire floor regardless of the actual properties or value of the NFTs, again, you can use this tool to do that. Now, you don't have to actually use this just for the floors. You can pick any item or any NFT within a particular collection in order to leverage this brand new sweep feature. And I believe that, if I'm not mistaken, you can also sweep up to 50 different NFTs in a single transaction. So the JPG.store team really bringing a lot of simplicity in making the NFT purchasing experience as smooth as possible. You can also imagine that if you're leveraging this particular sweep feature, once the actual JPEG season 1 kicks off for their XP, that this would be a really great way to increase and quickly gain that XP. Now, the very last news bit here for JPG.store is going to be surrounding their properties. And so ideally, whenever you're looking for a particular NFT trait, you can filter using their properties on the left-hand side of the page on whichever collection you're looking at. What they've now done is listen to the community and basically added the floor or the cheapest NFT for a particular trait within that properties pane. So before you actually filter and upload or update the page, you can quickly see exactly what the cheapest NFT is for that particular trait. So here we've got an example where the Tappy NFTs, they have a beak as well as an eye color. And for the yellow beak, we can see that the cheapest NFT is for 785 ADA. And then with the robot eye color, that the cheapest NFT available is for 830 ADA. On that note there, I think that is going to conclude my updates for JPG.store, but I do also want to mention here that the Tappy NFT, which is going to be the NFT that gives you access to the pro version of Tap Tools, has really done very, very well. We saw this mint for 420 ADA, and all of a sudden it's now trading at over 1600 ADA. So it's done a 4x in the matter of just a few weeks. Again, check that particular NFT out if you're looking to get access to Tap tools. And I've got a few other videos breaking down the total supply, the utility, and all the dates and all that information. So I'm not going to harp too much on that there, but I did find that really interesting that that particular NFT collection has done so well. Again, really providing utility, given the fact that the Tap Tools team just continues to release more and more updates. That is going to wrap it up there, though, for JPG.store. The next topic I want to jump into is going to be a relatively brief one. However, it is important given the fact that it is touching on stable coins. So we now have some additional updates surrounding Mehen. Mehen is going to be a stable coin pegged to a fiat reserve, which is going to make it a little bit different than what we have with JED and Indigo. With JED, it's going to be over collateralized, and with Indigo, it also is going to be over collateralized. Now, what we're expecting with Mehen is for whatever asset is minted on chain to actually be backed up by a cold hard cash fiat reserve. So again, it is going to be a little bit different, and I think this is going to be very similar to USDA being released by Emergo. Now, USDA was supposed to, I think, come out sometime in Q1 or Q2, but it looks like there might be some kind of delay given the fact that it has not come online just yet. And so it looks like Mehen might actually beat them to launch on Cardano. Now, for full fairness, we did have SharesLake, which was also a fiat-backed stablecoin. However, that particular team actually shut down their doors given the fact that they just were not able to get a lot of the adoption that they needed, even though they were one of the first fiat-backed stablecoins to launch on Cardano. So pivoting back over into Mehen, the actual main update that I wanted to share with you guys is not only are they on the testnet, they are excited to announce that today, which again, this actually took place on July 4th, that they integrated the C3 Oracle for their testnet. So Mehen is really looking to set the standard when it comes to transparency and trust. And the fact that they're going to be using C3 or Charlie, which is a Cardano native Oracle, to get the fiat reserve status and bring that on chain, I think is really going to be key. Again, we've already seen C3 integrate the LQ protocol, and that was one of the first platforms to actually be building on Cardano to leverage C3. I don't think it's going to be the end with so many other lending and borrowing protocols coming online and just platforms that need off-chain data to come on chain. I think that really poses an opportunity for C3. Now, when will the actual testnet for Mehen come online? I'm not just sure just yet. I think it's behind closed doors for the time being, but I am going to be speaking with the team in a fully dedicated interview, which I should have on the channel here in the coming weeks. So if you guys want to find out more about Mehen, or if you have any questions, please let me know down in the comment section below. But if not, stay tuned for that interview, as I'll be chatting here with the team surrounding their innovative solution to broaden the scope of stablecoins on Cardano. That is going to take me through that particular update. The very last story here for today's video is going to be surrounding Fluid tokens. So they now have an additional upgrade, and what they've done is brought online the pooled lending version of their protocol. So pooled lending, I think, will simplify the use of Fluid tokens, and it'll probably make it easier for liquidity to flow into their platform. Now, it seems like pooled lending appears to be a hot topic over the course of the past few months. Not only do we see platforms like Fluid tokens switching over to pooled lending, we've also seen platforms like Levy Finance, which was released by the Ape Society that I mentioned earlier, which was also going to use liquidity pools. So the biggest benefit from this is that this allows for people to come in at any time of the day and actually get a liquidity loan or liquidity from the protocol without having to wait for a third party. Similarly, we're expecting the LendFi protocol to launch their peer-to-pool version of the protocol, which will also be leveraging liquidity pools. So hopefully you guys are kind of catching on to the trend here, but this is the main update that I wanted to share with you guys surrounding Fluid tokens. So it states here, pooled lending allows lenders to create liquidity pools with custom terms based on the following. Number one, the NFT collection. Number two, the pool size. And then number three, the borrower limits. For the very first time on Cardano, borrowers are able to take exactly what they need with a maximum set per the lender terms. Now, if I jump over to this next screenshot here, if you can actually access or if you do access the Fluid Tokens platform, you will now notice that this liquidity pool feature is now available. And then with a look of an eye, or with a glance of an eye, you can see exactly how much liquidity is available. So here we can see the total number of pools, which at the time that this screenshot was taken was about 16 different liquidity pools. And then right below that, we can see that this is for the Ape Society NFT collection with more than 20,000, right? Or is that 200? Let's see here. It looks like 20,000 ADA, which is available with a maximum loan per person or per borrower set to 3,500 ADA with a minimum 5% interest rate. So that is really going to be it there. Again, I think taking multiple steps, right, to make this platform a lot easier to adopt by the community. And it makes this a lot more, what is the word that I'm looking for here? A lot more appetizing to people who are looking to borrow, right? Again, they don't have to sit up and wait for somebody to approve this. They can go ahead and quickly figure out the terms, and without having to wait for another party, go ahead and take the loan that they need. So that is going to do it, I think, for that brief update surrounding Fluid tokens. That will take us to the end here for today's Cardano Scoop. I hope you guys are able to enjoy this particular video. If you did, I would really thank you if you could tap that like button. If it's your first time stopping by the channel and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions for me surrounding anything that we touched about within this particular video, then please make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.